Hello, I am P. James Holland, founder and creator of Priceless Prospecting, and today we are here on Priceless Prospecting Workshop where I'm going to show you a few things here. We're going to talk about how to cut or completely remove all of your marketing costs, making your prospecting priceless. We'll show you how to get paid up front for new ideas you have in your business. That means even when you want to test a new market, new niche, new ideas. We'll show you how to check the validity of those up front and get paid for those before you start down a new avenue. We're also going to show you my method on how to get new prospects to qualify themselves so that they are begging to work with you. Also going to show you my process for getting prospects to pay you first for the opportunity to work with you. Yes, that means they are going to be paying you first before they hire you or buy your product or service or offer anything to you. That's what priceless prospecting is all about. And I'm going to show you, of course, my current source of endless business that I'm using that everyone should be using, which is, of course, LinkedIn, which is the missing link. Uh, terrible, terrible pun there. So let's talk about if this applies to you and why this is important for you to learn. Well, first of all, because I am a lot like you. When I first had the vision of starting my own business nearly 11 years ago, man, that is crazy to even think about. Like I said, I left my corporate job November 10th, 2007. So, of course, I'm dating this video, going to have to do it again because you're not supposed to say the dates on videos in case you want to reuse it. But that makes it 11 years since I have been successfully unemployed or unemployable, I like to say, where I left my six-figure job with AT&T as a highly paid technician and pole climber. You might also know them or refer to as linemen. I was one of those guys climbing 50-foot poles, putting up new construction and new lines. It was one of the highest paid positions. I had six-figure income, 401k, the full pension, all of that good stuff. Um, one of the best benefits package, full benefits covered, as well as discounts on TV, phone. They had partnerships with movies, even cars. We got discounted. We were able to buy new cars at factory. I mean, AT&T was everywhere and was always working with partnerships. They really took care of you. And about 11 years ago, I put in my 2-week notice and walked out. Right after reading 4 Hour Work Week from Tim Ferriss, but that is another story. So let's talk about this journey I was on. So 11 years ago when I wanted to start my own business, I was kind of all over the place. I really didn't have any idea to start. I was learning lots of information from all the different heads and gurus in the market. But the information like you may be getting if you're learning and studying certain people as you should in your business, always educating and trying to get better, you will find that there is so much conflicting information. One says one way is the only way to do something, and then next one says that is the absolute worst thing to do. So it was really, really tough on where to start, especially with marketing and trying to bring in new business. So in the beginning, I was of the belief of I wanted to write. So I started websites and writing, and that's exactly what I did. I wrote all day, every day. I had that belief that if you build it, they will come. I had blogs, a couple of different blogs. I've gone through different versions of my website, but I was a content generating machine. Except all this content I was getting out there, and I wrote for different sources, not just my own blog. I wrote for other websites that were paid for, I got paid by effectiveness and page views and things like that. before I finally started to Google, the phrase "how to make money blogging," or basically one version of this that everyone writes at some point or another, which is how to make money from my website, how to grow my business, how to make money using online methods. That's all what it boiled down to. And what that ultimately led to was a site called Warrior Forum. If you don't know what that is already, consider yourself lucky. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Do not go to this site. To its defense, in the beginning, I did learn a lot from it. I got a lot of value, and I met a lot of good people from it. But so many things are flawed about this site in the way that they teach and the way that they're breeding information and content, where I kind of have this love-hate where I feel I hate that I got trapped into that site, but it did change a lot of things for me, and it probably wouldn't have helped me get to where I am today had I not gone through that black hole of those dark years on the Warrior Forum. Because what I found after going in there, I was able to go into this new site in very short time, where it was dominated by gurus and experts. And with my very first introduction to the site, I flew to basically the top of the charts as one of the very well-known and respected, I hate to use the phrase guru, but I became one of the go-to people to other members of the sites, because it's a site where you can launch digital products and learn how to market online, and they have a good forum for exchanging of ideas and advice on how to grow your business using online and digital methods. So by the end of it, I had well-respected members who had been on there for years coming to me asking me how I was able to be basically a nobody on the site and rise right to the top within a couple of months. And they had been there for years. And sadly, I still see some of my old partners and colleagues that are still on the site, still stuck on there, still repeating the same cycle, still looking for the same information. And once you get going, it seems like you get stuck in this cycle of constantly getting new information, or they flood you with new products and services that they say you absolutely must have. Every 10 minutes there's an email of another one, and that's why I say you get stuck in that black hole of constantly needing more information before you believe that you can do what it is necessary to grow your business or grow your site. So luckily, I was able to get out of there because I just figured there had to be a better way. I didn't want to be stuck on this forum for the next 10 years doing the same type of products and going over the same things over and over and over. And then, so that search led me to, this is at the same time, Facebook marketing came in and changed the game. Facebook was the buzzword around the forum. Everybody who wanted to grow their business relied on Facebook. I mean, literally, this really did change the entire internet marketing industry. Everyone started flocking to Facebook ads. It was, if you needed to grow your business, you had to get a Facebook page, and you had to pay for Facebook ads and get tons of likes and build your page. And now every major industry guru who teaches marketing says, almost the exact same thing. You get the training, you can almost see the writing before you're even done, where they're going to tell you, once you build your site or get everything up and running or your business, the first thing, once you get your online presence set up, the very next thing you're going to do in order to drive traffic or audience or prospects to your site is set up Facebook ads. And that's just the buzzword. That's just what everyone believes. The only way to get people to your site is by Facebook ads. And that is just one of those things that I tried, and I did okay with it, building some of my websites and some pages. But of course, algorithms change, price goes through the roof, and basically failed miserably, as well as many others, partners, colleagues who just tanked money into Facebook ads um, and went nowhere. Um, so it wasn't until after failing a couple of different things I was trying on my own, um, or trying using everything they taught me, I kind of tried something out of frustration on my own, just throwing something out there and seeing what would happen. And I started getting flooded with new prospects paying me um, before I even had a chance to even pitch myself, sell myself, or present some opportunity. I had people seeking me out and paying me just for the opportunity to hire me. So that's when I said, bye-bye to Warrior Forum. If you go, you can even go to Warrior Forum and check out my profile. It actually shows you when your last login date was. I believe I have not even so much as logged in to Warrior Forum. I think the last date shows almost 4 years ago. I have not, and that's if you don't know what Warrior Forum is, that probably not doesn't sound like much, but I still get people contacting me to this day after being 4 years. Even recently, just within a week or so ago, someone contacted me saying, I remembered you and I remember how good you were and how much you helped me to get my business off the ground. And I looked at your profile and I saw that you have not logged into this site for years. And you must tell me how you did it, because this site has been the single source of income for me, and you were able to escape it. How did you get out of there? So in that realm, that industry, leaving that site and still being able to run a business is quite the feat. So I was able to successfully leave that site for good, and being able to get leads for as low as a penny. I'm using some of the strategies I'm going to be showing you today, and also even having leads paying me up front. So making my prospecting profitable up front before I've even sold my main product or service. And then that's where getting multiple questions. I'm in a lot of social groups. I'm in a lot of LinkedIn groups, and I love sharing my content and sharing some of these strategies. And that's pretty much how Priceless Prospecting was born, because this isn't my main business. My main business were my other businesses I had going, but because of the demand and people wanting to know questions like that, how I was able to generate income, within the first week of launching a new company or new product or service, before doing all the stuff that was usually taught and recommended. That's where Priceless Prospecting came, and I wanted to share that all with you, and that's why we are here today. So I just want to make sure there's any questions before we keep going on. All right, no questions, we are good to go. So the next question I'll start with is, can this really be done? Can it be this simple? You may be wondering, okay, it sounds too good to be true. How can you get leads for a penny? How can you get prospects chasing you down and getting paid up front before they've even had a chance to speak to you or work with you for whatever it is your product or service is? And this works for almost nearly any type of business, whether you're a consultant, a coach, digital product seller, a brick and mortar business, um, an agent, or you're in sales, you're in marketing. No matter what, this will work for your business. So can it really be done? So I'm going to start with sharing a simple story with you really quick, just to let you know what is possible. So I had a friend who recently just asked me over the years, who was my biggest success story? Um, and I thought that was a great question. That was something I never actually thought about. Um, but one came to mind. One seems to always come to mind, because maybe it wasn't the biggest success, because I've had quite a few people I've worked with, great people I've worked with over the years, and changed their businesses and grew them to sizes beyond what they thought possible using this my Priceless prospecting method. But there's one that probably stands out the most as the most memorable that I would like to share with you if you don't mind. And that is this 18-year-old wonder kid. Um, so, without giving out any names or any personal information, I had a client who came to me who wanted to know one of the biggest, hardest, toughest decisions he ever has to make in his life, and was asking me my opinion to help him make that decision. That's why I said my stomach sank to the ground. And I initially told him, there's no way I'm answering that question for you. There's no way I can even be put involved in that. And the question that he asked me was, should he drop out of college to pursue his career, to pursue an online marketing career and building his own business? So I remember this. I remember telling him he was not passionate about what he was going to school for. So he was from, I believe he's from Singapore. So English wasn't even his first language. Um, Hopefully I'm getting this right. 18-year-old, so in the Asian community, being a doctor or lawyer is huge. You got to be a huge success in his family. So dropping out of school would have meant he had shamed the family. Um, he would have been probably kicked out of the family, dishonored his father, and all of these things that would have just been absolutely life ruining relationships. But he said, do I sacrifice my entire life and what my enjoyment of what I'm going to be doing just in order to please someone else? And again, I kept saying, I'm not answering that question. That is something that is far too big to decide. And he just kept asking me, he said, I'm not going to blame it on you. I won't put any of this pressure on you, just your opinion. So eventually I shared with him my opinion, which is clearly obvious from my lifestyle of leaving corporate business and everybody thinking I'm crazy for this wild dream, which is life is way too short to spend the majority of your good years doing something you absolutely don't enjoy, and even worse, just doing it for the approval of someone else. I said, I was speaking on my own behalf. I said, I would rather lose everything, which I have multiple times, which is the name behind my other brand, Coach Comeback, which is another story you can find online somewhere. But I said, I would much rather risk it all, lose everything, and start over from scratch, rebuilding at a chance at the life of my dreams than to settle and do something that absolutely makes me miserable for the next 30 years to get approval from someone else and just make a couple extra dollars. So eventually he went over, had this talk with his father, told him about it, and it was not good. He came to me, said there was lots of harsh words and lots of crying, bad things that were said, and basically they came to an agreement after a long, long, hard discussion that if he was able to make $50,000 by the end of the year, and it was already like June, if he was able to make $50,000 from his online business by the end of the year, then he wouldn't have to go back to school. But if he did, he could pursue this dream, go forward, and have the full support of his father. What an ultimatum, what an offer for an 18-year-old kid who didn't even have any idea what he was doing to begin with. So when that finally happened, what this kid did was basically he eventually hired me, and we worked together. And again, I have on one of my podcasts, I have an interview with him sharing his whole story, if you want to hear it. but he went on, and by December of that year, he had made something like $48,000 in less than 6 months, just working with me and using the foundation I had helped him build. And then of course he went on to get his own education, learn more, use what I taught him to tweak it, and create his own systems. And he saw he had about 2 weeks left in order to cross the threshold, did another part of this same method, kind of revamped it and started it over. And by the beginning of the new year, he had made over $50,000. And was able to successfully drop out of school. And I don't know if the damage was ever done and really got the respect of his father, but this was all from using a system of being able to market online effectively, instantly, whatever your business or product or service is, these universal techniques that work for everything. And that's what we're going to share. That was the foundation of what was taught to him, is what we're going to learn here today. And it was, like I said, there's much, much more to that story. Even get emotional, even talking to him every now and then. But that is what was happening. So let's again. I just want to check in, make sure there are any questions before I move on. Okay. Nope. All right. So we'll. Someone's saying they can't hear. Yeah, we've already went over that. We'll just have to send that out in the replay. Nothing to do about that. Okay, we're going to keep moving. So, about prospecting in general, this is probably what you've heard to be true. We've had to discuss a few of these, just because this is probably the information that's being put out there that's maybe causing you to stay stuck or not growing your business to the size that you want. It's probably because of some of these beliefs that are just not true. And that is, you have to have a large database first. What does that mean? Let's see. So a lot of people who come to me think, well, I can't really grow. I have to build a large list first, a client base, database, before I can do anything. Which is sort of similar to what I was taught when I was starting out. And that was, as I said, when I was in those blogging days, I remember taking a course by a huge guru on where to start with your business when I wanted to grow a successful blog around my writing. And one of the things they taught, that I often share this because I think this is just the worst advice ever, was that you should have your business up and running for at least a year and writing before you begin to try to sell from your website. You need to build up your credibility and authority and get a large list before you can start to sell. And that is probably one of the dumbest pieces of advice ever, is to think you have to wait until you have a certain size or a certain list or a certain amount of following or a certain number of visitors to your site before you could even begin to start selling. Hopefully you don't have that belief, because that's absolutely ridiculous. You should be monetizing, selling, pitching, or trying to bring in revenue from day one. Because think about this. What if you spend a year building around this new business or your current business or idea, and then wait a year before you finally start to make something available for sale, and find out you got the whole niche all the way wrong. You got the industry picked wrong, and there's no demand for what it is that you're building. Or worse, it was something that was temporary or or trending, and now the trend is gone and you've missed the time? Or what about people who, after a year, because you're still marketing, who only found your site just that day? Do you have to wait a year before you can sell to them? Well, the site's been around a year. There's just so many holes in this theory that it's just absolutely ridiculous. You should absolutely not wait until you have a large database before you start selling. It's just not true. The next one is that you must have a huge budget for prospecting. Again, I show ways in my methods where you can get leads for a penny or less, or get paid up front for your prospecting. That is what Priceless Prospecting is all about. I show you the ways that you can either break even or even profit from your prospecting in the very beginning. So no huge budget is needed, because maybe for every $5 you spend, you might get $6 back. And we're talking just for the prospecting. Before they've actually hired you or bought your product or service or consulting or whatever it is that your business runs on. We're just talking about being able to turn prospecting on its head, where you get paid for bringing in new business before you've even gotten the new business. That's what this is all about. The next thing that you might believe is true, one of these myths you want to talk about, is people share that you expect to lose money in the beginning. They just say, oh yeah, in the beginning, whenever you start your business, you're just expect that you're going to lose some money as soon as you start out. Just, you needs money, takes money to make money. And in every business in the beginning, it's going to start off in the negative. You got to go into debt to start a new business, and just so expect to lose money. Again, completely false. Show you priceless processing is based on a theory where you are profitable from day one. And if your business is already existing, it's going to lower your costs and change what you're spending on marketing and budgeting right out of the gate. So do not expect to lose money. If you're expecting to lose money in the beginning of a business, I wouldn't even start that business. Why even go into that knowing you're going to lose money? Another one, a belief that I hear pretty often when I share some of the strategies and things to do to grow their business, is people say, well, I'm not a big name already. There's already such and such company, which just goes along with the next one. There's already such and such company doing that, and I am brand new and nobody knows who I am. Why would they come to me when there's all these other people out there who are doing the same thing? Which kind of goes hand in hand with too much competition, but not really. One, I believe, is self-belief of self-worth, which is everyone has value. And the belief that there's too much competition, I personally believe competition is a myth, because no one person, no one company is going to reach every single person in the world. Just think about clothing. Think about how many millions of different name brands of clothes there are. There's not just one clothing line that dominated the entire world, and there's new ones coming out every single day, and they sell and are doing and thriving just fine. The same is for almost all industries. Some people will buy from you, some will buy from the other, some will buy from both. There's no such thing as competition. As long as you're providing a value, people like variety. So they may buy from all kinds of different sources or brands. Or, think, does your closet consist of one brand entirely, from one end of the closet all the way to the other side? Is it just one single name brand? Has one person dominated your entire wardrobe from hat to socks all the way down? It's one single name brand? I would seriously doubt that. So competition is just a myth. And also another question, are there some name brands that if you looked at the tag of the clothing, you have no idea, you've never heard of the name brand ever before, but you liked the look of the shirt? Is every single thing in your closet, again, from hat to socks, a top tier, top name brand that you've heard of? I'm sure Probably the shirt I'm wearing now, if I looked at the collar. I've probably never heard of this name brand before today, before actually reading the collar. Who cares? It does not matter. It's not important. So those are a couple of things that myths that I wanted to take care of before we move on. So let me check again before I go on to the next section if there's any questions, comments. Yeah, Sebastian says, my wife buys me clothes. Yeah, does she only buy one name brand? Do you, is all of your clothing the exact same name brand? Because there's lots of competition for clothing. It's a crowded market. Of course. Let me get a drink of water real quick. Okay, I'm going to keep moving along. Again, I apologize. I'm trying to go through this a little bit quick. Don't have any more of that drink. Sorry. But you can always, if I have it available, watch the recording and slow it down if the recording is available, or just contact me and I'll do it again with any questions you may have. So let's keep going. Next section is, here's what you should do immediately. So let's go through this process of how exactly do you make your prospecting priceless. This is the process of discovering your filtering fee. What I like to call my process is called being able to put your prospects, people to charge them a filtering fee. Do you have a filtering fee set up in place that prospects have to go through, or does everyone just come directly to you before, in order to get the business? So it's just based on a theory of, I'll show you how you don't have to chase prospects or go after them. I'll show you how to attract prospects so that they're coming to you. And then you make them pay a price first before they have the opportunity to work with you. That's what the filtering fee is all about. It's going to filter out time wasters, dead leads, people who just want to waste your time. You're going to make them pay in order to qualify themselves to be able to work with you. I know that sounds a little crazy, so I want to say that again. The point of the filtering fee is to get rid of time wasters and dead leads and make them pay you first to qualify themselves to work with you. So no one would be able to get a chance to work with you or hire you, buy your product or service, or whatever it is that you do, without paying your filtering fee and going through this process first. So that way, when they finally get to you, you're only speaking to pre-sold leads that have already sold themselves on your product or service and are basically just waiting to give you money. That is what the process is going to do for you, and that's what we're going to go over here right now. And that is the filtering fee process. So first thing you have to do is find your flock. So this is where you want to start. Again, this is where a lot of people make the mistake, and I'll go over that. You'll understand what I mean later. But who will you be marketing to? Remember, this is first. Before you start thinking about your business, your product, your service, or anything, first you have to figure out who is it that you're going to be marketing to. How will you be reaching them? What is the method of how you're going to be reaching them? So who is your ideal prospect? Are you is it going to be, homeowners? Are you going to be finding them online? Are you going to be buying leads? Are you going to be using ads? Are you going to be using a forum? Are you going to be using LinkedIn, which is one of my top ones that I think everybody who has any sort of business, whether you're in sales, marketing, whatever it is your business that you want to grow, where you get paid for growing, one way or another, I believe everyone should be on LinkedIn. There's just no better source for it. But one question I like to ask that really makes you think is, who can you easily and effortlessly get in front of? Think about what is a large audience that you can get in front of easily and effortlessly. That's where you should start. Start off with who can I easily reach? And that's so important. As I said, as I go through the rest of this, it'll make more sense. But so important to know, figure out who you can reach first before you start. So many people get that wrong. So start with that. Find out who you can reach first before you start thinking about your business and your product or service. If you already have one, you may start to rethink your angle and how you're marketing your business. The second thing you want to do is figure out their frustrations. So once you figure out who it is you can reach and how you're going to be able to reach them, or you can easily and effortlessly get in front of, you want to figure out their frustrations. So you have to know them better than you know yourself. You have to know them better than you know your own product or service. So what keeps them up at night? Think about it. What do they lie there at night in their business thinking that they have? What are their biggest pains? What are things that are bugging them? What are things that, they bang their heads over? What are things they're already looking for help with? They're searching for. When they run to Google trying to search for an answer to one of their problems, what is it that they're typing in? What have they been struggling with the longest? What's a nagging chronic problem that a large group has that they haven't been able to find a way to solve right away, or haven't been able to solve it uniquely in a way that you can, or cheaper than you can, or faster than you can, or in a different way, easier than you can? What are some nagging problems that they may have? And if you're in an industry that has multiple problems, even better. Some of these we talk about one-stop markets where, like the quit smoking audience, say if you're a coach that teaches people how to quit smoking, we consider that kind of a one-stop market, because once you've taught them how to quit smoking, you effectively put yourself out of business. There's nowhere else to go from there. There's no follow-up. There's nothing else you need to do for them that lends its way to multiple products or services or more things they can buy. So it's called one stop. They buy something from you once and they never need you again if you're good. So we want to kind of avoid those types of markets and those industries. Next, I want you to think about what do they think they want more than anything. Sometimes there's a few industries where you need to give them what they want or tell them what they want, but teach them what they need, rather than trying to tell them what they need up front. Because a lot of times people don't know exactly what they need or what their problem is or why they're hiring you in the first place. And you have to educate them on that. So if you go to where they already are, if you think about what do they think they want, that's what's most important. If you were in car sales, you go up to them and you start telling them about all the safety features and the airbags, and its crash test rating, and it's a guy who's just, all he cares about is the horsepower and how fast it goes, because he thinks all he wants is a fast, speedy, powerful car, even though he may never go over the speed limit and drive all the time. He may think he wants the fastest car on the market just because. So you have to think about what do they think they want before you can start, describing and pitching all of these other features that may have nothing to do with what they want. So you got to start where they are in their head. Don't even begin to start thinking about selling your product or service or why they would want your product or service, because you're not there yet. You can begin in the later process, and we'll talk about how to tailor your business around it. So if you already have your product or service or your business designed around one thing, hope is not lost. It will show you how to tailor your business to fit their needs, because it's all about positioning. And we'll learn about that as we go through this. The next is the meat of this we're going to talk about is frame your filtering fee. So now that you've done the research and you've understood your market, you know what they want, you found who you can get to easily and effortlessly, and you know them inside and out, you know what they have problems with, Now you decide which one of those, what part of that market or industry do you want to work with the most. So another good question to think about is, who would you need the least amount of convincing that they need your help? Now that's a good question. This will give you more profit um, instantly if you can figure this question out. Uh, this will generate revenue almost overnight for you if you can figure this out. What segment of your market would need the least amount of convincing that they need your help? So, I'll give you an example of that. Is for a while, I was showing uh, people how to start their own business. Okay, so I was teaching people how to start their own businesses from scratch who didn't have a business, and I did this process. Went through, figured out their pains, and thought who would need the least amount of convincing that they need their own product or service. Because if I already know who needs the least amount of convincing, there's no selling even needed. I show them what it is I have, and they're already sold because they already know that they need it. So an example of this was email blast sellers, or if you're not in the industry, another word for them is called solo ad sellers. What that is, these are people who have large email lists and they rent the list out or sell them to other people to for other people to write an email, an endorsed email that they send to their list of sometimes tens of thousands of people. So they're just good at building these large lists, and then their primary way that they make money from their list is selling the list to other people to write an email to their list, and they usually charge per click. So they charge something like um, somewhere in the range, usually like 35 cents per click generated from the email. Some are higher, some are a lot less, but in general, let's just say they charge 30 cents. They send out this email to their 10,000 list, and the person like me who paid for it, I might have paid, $100. I'm going to try to do some math here on the fly. I might have paid $100 to this person, so that should get me 300 clicks of my link in the email. Um, and that's the that's the offer. That's their entire business. They keep building up their list, and then they just keep hitting them with emails from other people. So I go to them and I say, what if I could show you how to get $5 a click instead of 30 cents a click? I get their attention. Don't even have to convince them. They already say, well, of course, I'm selling my clicks for 30 cents. If you're telling me I can get $5 a click instead of 30 cents, I'm already, sign me up. I say, why do you think the people who are buying these emails from you are willing to pay you $100 for those 300 clicks so many times? They say, because they're the ones who are making $5 a click, laughing all the way to the bank. They're giving you measly 30 cents, and then in the end, they're getting $5 for each one of those 300 clicks from the email. Wouldn't you like to know how they did that? You say, well, absolutely, of course. And so it was an easy sell to teach them, well, instead of you giving away your best clients and email subscribers to other people for 30 cents, what if you had your own business that you were selling and you immediately could make $5 a click right away? So that was an example of, because there's literally hundreds different niches I could go into teaching people how to start their own business. But for me, targeting specifically people who already had large email lists and were selling them for measly 30 cents a click, it didn't take much convincing for me to tell them that, for them to think that they need my help. So it's the easiest sell ever. Once I showed them what's possible, they go, absolutely, sign me up. I can already see how I can easily increase my revenue, 5-10-fold overnight, just by, instead of selling the clicks, sending these emails to my own product or service. So easy sell. So that's when I want you to start, and I want you to really think about who would need the least amount of convincing? Is there a large portion of them you can get to who are already sold on your product or service that you don't even have to convince them? They're just waiting for you to help them, show them an opportunity. So use that as an idea to generate how you're going to design your filtering fee. Next is, what is it that you do that you're good? What are you good at? What is the result of working with you, your product, service, offer, whatever it is, because it works for any industry. I don't care if you have a bakery, a pizza shop, or you're a coach, or consultant, or a fitness trainer, or a real estate agent. This all works. But what is it that you're so confident that you can give them as a result for working with you that you would even say, you know what, you don't even have to pay me. I'm so confident I can get you blank result that just let me do it for you now and you can pay me afterwards. Now, I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying, what is it that you are that confident about that you'd be willing to do that? What part of your business, what is the result that you can give them immediately that you're confident of, that you would tell them, you don't even have to pay me right now. I'm so good at bringing you this result. Don't even pay me right now. Let me give you a little piece for free, and then you'll be so blown away by what I've done for you, you can pay me afterwards. Mix these two together, what they need the least amount of convincing and what you're so good, the result that you're so good at giving them that you're willing to not even get paid first. And you've hit some gold. So the next step there is to design, combine these two and make a mini version of this. Well, what does that mean? If you have some sort of an offer that they don't need much convincing to do, and that you're super confident you can get them a result, make a mini version of this. So how do you make a mini version? Something that gives them just a taste, a little tiny taste of what you have to offer. And these are what we consider your fee. So sometimes it's paying directly, sometimes it's paying with money, sometimes it's paying with their time, sometimes it's paying with effort they have to put in. This is all the filtering fee. Whatever it is, there's some sort of a hoop they have to go through before they can hire you. So sometimes you can put it into a step-by-step little simple ebook. And then you can have the ebook either free that you give away on your website for their name and email, which would happen to be their fee. You charge them the name and email, or what I recommend always, to get rid of freebie seekers, is charge for a low-end price for putting your process or service or something they can do on their own into an ebook, and charge for it. A couple bucks, $50 or something low end, that you could sell your ebook for. You can do it digitally online, or put it in Kindle, Amazon, or something like that. Another really easy one that I recommend everyone should have anyway, because you can start this immediately, is have an online newsletter. Again, it's up to you to whether have it free or fee, make them to charge for it, low end for a monthly newsletter. I always say you should charge, but put it in like a seven day email sequence and then mail them every single day. So it's seven email series that says step by step how to do whatever it is, that offer that you discovered in the previous that they would like. The next way to design your mini version of this is a call like the one you are on right now. This is a version of one of the versions of my filtering fee. So I have people come live and listen to me talk about my offer a little bit, and they have to listen to this first before they get the opportunity to work with me. So this is my version of the fee. If you can come, if you care about your business enough, and it's important enough to you to come onto a call like this and, give up 45 minutes or so of your time to listen, take notes intently, and educate yourselves, then that's the type of person I want to work with, because you're saying this is important. You're willing to take this sort of a step for your business. You're out there, you're looking for ways to grow and be better. And you've made, there's so many other things you could be doing right now, and watching TV and binging on Netflix and sitting in front of the couch and doing nothing, or scrolling endlessly on Facebook, looking at cat videos. But instead, you're here listening to this right now. For me, that filters out the people who are not really serious or not ready to take their business to the next level, and make some drastic changes in their life. So for me, a call like this, and there's several different ways you can do this. I like teleseminars, I like live calls like this one, I like workshops where it's video. There's Facebook live calls people are doing now, or YouTube live. Lots of different ways where you can come present a little bit of what it is that you have to offer, enough that someone could go out and use it immediately and get some results. And then then afterwards they have an opportunity to work with you, but not before, not until they've watched this full presentation or this workshop. Will they have a chance to talk to you and work with you, or hire you, or try your product and service. This is my version of the fee, is sitting through this. And I may even, I have in the past, if I felt the call was good enough, I've sold the call. So some may have gotten this in the beginning on for free. If you're watching this later, you may have paid for this workshop. So this is, me using my own advice in action. This is my filtering fee you are listening to right now, in order to be able to go further with working with me. The next is a free consultation. Another one of my favorites that I like, if you're in the services business, like business evaluations, or SEO, or marketing, or advertising, or direct response marketing. Free consultations work great. It's a great way to showcase what it is that you have to do, and it's mutually beneficial for the clients. You don't want to just get on a call with someone and all you're doing is telling them all about your product or service and pitching. No one likes a 100% sales call. Those are awful. A free consultation is what I mean is you actually demonstrate value to your potential prospect on a consultation call, where you get to do some background, understand more about them, ask them questions, figure out what they can do, and come up with something together. I like the free consultation, with sometimes even maybe a little bit of filtering before that, again, to make sure it's not just time waster who has no intention of ever hiring you and they just want to see what they can get for free. So a free consultation is another way to make your fee. The other is a mini digital product. Again, this is another personal favorite that I do with myself and for all the clients, is create some sort of a digital product. Again, I don't want to say every, but nearly every type of business has some form of way that they can put together a digital product, where we're talking about, an online class like what Masterclass is doing right now, or something where, what I mean by digital product is something where there's a members area where they log on, go to a website, and they have modules or downloads or worksheets or even content, articles, videos, audios of whatever it is your mini fee that you're teaching them is a digital product, and that you can charge up front. Again, a low-end fee for them, that they go through this product or service where it provides extreme value for them, where they've already paid up front and they've seen the value that you provide, and then they go, well, this was so great, I want to see what else I can get from them. I want to be able to hire this person or this company to do my work. Even if you're an interior designer and you charge, 25 grand to come and design models for people, you can make a digital product that's teaching them, the 7 steps to making your, average home look like a $7 million model. And you can give them tons of different steps and tools and processes of how they can go out and do it on their own. And then at the end, have an option for you can either go out and do it on your own, or you can also work with me directly because I do this for a living and I can show up and give you an analysis and show you how to completely redesign your home and give it that classy feel and upgrade. So, if you have any questions, if you're here and you want to figure out any examples, because you might be thinking, it doesn't apply to my industry, ask the question. I'll tell you how it absolutely can apply to any industry. Another one I've used with great success is a questionnaire. I like long ones. I have I think about a 75-point questionnaire that I have people fill out before they get a chance to speak with me, to work with me. So again, it's kind of the same mentality as someone who would sit through a call like this. Some people who I hand the questionnaire, they open it, look at it, and go, I don't have time to fill out all these questions because, it's about 30 pages long with about 75 really in-depth questions about background, about them personally, about their business, because I really want to know this information. So someone who sees it and goes, I'll get back to you, I don't have time to fill that out. To me, that immediately tells me they don't take their business serious. They're not really ready at a point where they're feeling enough pain, or they have a desire so great to change their business that, taking 30 minutes or so to fill out a questionnaire is too much work. That's the type of person I don't want to work with. And that's why it's called the filtering fee. If I hand you a questionnaire, and you say it's too much work, you don't want to fill it out, you just want to get started, I can already tell they're going to be a problem client and not the type of person I want to work with. So my questionnaire does its job, as that's the fee they have to pay. That's what I mean. This one they have to pay by their time. Spend 30 minutes, fill this questionnaire out, and it's going to make you think, it's going to make your head hurt, and you're going to have to put in some effort and really answer these questions. And if that is too much work for them to do, then they have filtered themselves for me and saved me the time of getting on a call with them and working through their business with an evaluation. So I said some of these can be put together. So when I said a free consultation with a small filtering in front of it, this is what I would do. If you don't have a live call or something like that, or an ebook or anything for sale, put the questionnaire before the free consultation, and that's how you can pre-filter them before you filter them. If they don't want to fill out the questionnaire, get rid of them. They're not going to be a good client for you. Save yourself the time, and don't do that. But I love the questionnaire, making them fill it out too. You got to have really good questions and important questions. Another one is a physical sample. So in this digital age, again, everyone's going digital. Not many are doing much physical products anymore. The last few years, you've seen quite a few people use for big consulting firms. They're doing the free book where you just pay shipping. You might have seen this all over, where some of the big names, before they even get you to their live seminars or events or anything, they'll have a book that they're promoting all over online that says, get this book that gives you sort of the process of what they're going to be teaching. It's a mini version of what it is they're going to be teaching. And it's a book by one of those print-on-demand companies. So you can do it pretty cheaply with print-on-demand. But it's a physical book that comes to your house, and they say, free book plus shipping. And usually the shipping is something minuscule like $4.99, and you pay for the shipping, and you get a physical book. There's also sites where you can take something like this, like a live call or a teleconference, and put it on a CD or a USB, fairly cheap with print on demand. And they can sign up, and you can say, free plus shipping, and they can buy that first. And on the CD, you can have things like a recording of your call, part of the digital product. Your questionnaire can be on there that they have to fill out. And then they can mail it in or send it back to you, or anything direct mail. have them sign up for a newsletter or a sales package with your material that gives them, the brochure, background, and teaser content, and a little bit of like a mini product, mini version, and physically mail a package to them, and make them pay for the shipping for the package up front. Those are really, really good and goes a long way. And there's, like I said, the list goes on. It can list tons of different ways, but these are some of the top, most common ways of creating a filtering fee up front. And usually you're going to be choosing one of these to start with before you start getting creative and coming up with your own. So any questions on the types of filtering fees before we go on? So once you've done all that, the next step is to fast track your filtering fee. So once you've done your marketing, you know what you're doing, you've got it created, you set it up. Of course, you want to set up automation. That means you don't want to have orders coming in where you have to physically lick stamps, stuffing envelopes, writing them down and mailing them, or manually doing something, because orders can come in from all over the world when it's digital or online. It comes from in the middle of the night or while you're on vacation or something, and you need to be able to set this up so that it runs without you being there. There's lots of different ways to automate it, the marketing and the collecting the database, which are going to be different and specific to your business. So I didn't want to go down and list all the different ways there, because this is something that I know a lot about. I know a lot of different resources, but depending on your type of business, whether you say coach, consultant, affiliate marketer, or a product creator of your own, or an agent or a trainer, it's going to be different. There's so many different options for online and offline that the options out there are kind of endless and can get overwhelming. So you want to set up automation for everything, for your marketing, for how they start coming in, how you're bringing in the new people to your fee, and a way to collect the database. So you need some sort of a CRM, or at least an autoresponder for collecting emails and automatically sending them out. You do not be emailing from your Gmail or from your personal email address when you're sending out massive marketing messages or responses to people who are contacting you. It just doesn't work. You need to be able to collect your database one way or another so that you can automate the emails that go out, the responses, the scheduling of phone calls, and all of that needs to happen automatically. So that's the part that I usually need to go over with people personally, because they don't understand how to automate it. Most companies are doing everything on their own, kind of like the mom and pop who opens the bakery, and they're the cook, they're the chef, they run the register, they're doing the serving, they clean up after it's over, and then they live upstairs or in the back. They never hired anyone. It's been in the family business forever, and they do everything one-stop shop. And it becomes their life. If they leave and go on vacation, the store has to close. They make no money or bring in any revenue while they're gone, because they are all that it has. You don't want to get yourself into a business where you are at the core of everything. Nothing happens unless you personally do it. So as soon as you get part 3 and get your filtering piece set up, the very next step you need to set up, once it's working and you see it's coming in, you've got to start automating that. Like I said, in that part you might need some help with, might get tricky, but this is an absolute must. No matter what stage you are in your business, parts of it need to be automated and outsourced. And of course, another one I just had to mention because it's most often skipped, and that is the follow-up. This one kind of gets me a little exasperated when I talk to people where I say, say you have a database and an email list, and I say, They come to me and say, I need to get more sales from my offers. I emailed my last offer, and I made a few sales. And I go, well, I'll email them again. Like, oh, they've already seen the offer. I need something else. Now I have to create something else. Now, what do you mean they've already seen it? Well, I've already emailed my list, once or twice about it. I say email them 10 more times. But they've already seen it. And I'll ask, did you get 100% open rate on your emails? Did every single person read the email top to bottom and click the link? Of course, the answer is always no. No one gets a 100% open rate unless they've got 5 people on the email and 3 of them are their mom. Second is think about commercials. Have you ever just seen a commercial one time? Of course, obviously sometimes, but you see a commercial one time and you're convinced that's what I need and that's what I'm buying forever. Or do you see the same commercial 15, 16, 17, 18, 50 times before it gets so ingrained in your head, and then you may not even be ready for it at the time, but later down the line, you go, you know what, I wasn't in the mood for, pasta, all you can eat pasta a month ago, but now I'm kind of hungry. I'm trying to think of something new, and I remember seeing that commercial 100 times for Olive Garden's all you can eat pasta is back. So now I want it. Think if they sent the commercial, they put the commercial on TV once and never put the commercial again because they go, that's going to be a waste. Those people have already seen it. We already put the commercial out there once. If there's one thing I can instill into you is don't be afraid to market your business to the same existing people you already have over and over and over again. Of course, don't just copy and paste and keep saying the exact same thing. Just like commercials change, we're not still seeing the same McDonald's commercials from '85. They change it often because there's different things that they can highlight, different things that they can show you. Maybe you didn't know about these extra sides we had on the menu that they put in the commercial this time, or maybe they didn't know that there was a playland so your kids can be watched and be entertained while you're there. We didn't put that in the last commercial. There's so many different angles, different things you could tell them about that they might not have known about. Educate them about your product and service multiple times until they are no longer in the market ever for your product. So make sure you are relentless with your follow-up. And whether that means that you're calling them often and checking back with them, or if you're emailing them every single day, or private messaging them on LinkedIn, or whatever that may be, you must have a system to follow up many, 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 many ways. And one tip that I can give you is if you want people to be happy that you're selling to them and marketing to them, this is a tip I learned a while back from one of the top people in the industry in copywriting, is make your sales message itself valuable. So rather than just saying, buy my stuff, hire me, buy my stuff, hire me, if embedded in between your email, your articles, your blog posts, your sales pages, your ebooks, whatever it is, if it's valuable by itself, then people will be happy to get marketing from you. If all it is just pitch, yes, they're going to get tired of it and get burned out. So make your marketing itself valuable, and people will be happy that you're trying to sell to them, as long as it's not just a pitch. So I just want to put that in again. Make your marketing so valuable. It's a great tip. If you're, say you have a sales letter or sales page, if your sales page has tips on there that someone can go out and immediately use, they're going to be happy you sent them to their sales page and try to sell them on your product or service. So make your marketing, find ways to make your pitch valuable, where they get some value out of it and not just be annoyed that you're trying to sell them some crap all day, every day. So any questions on follow-up before I go on to the next section? All right. Uh-oh. I don't think it broke it. Everything froze for a second. Just want to make sure it's still working. Can you still hear me? Okay. Good, good, good. All right, let's keep moving along. We're almost done. Thank you for being here this long. This is great. This tells me that you find this valuable, and that you care about growing your business. So I'm glad you're here listening. So here's what you should stop doing immediately. Give you a couple of tips from my do's and don'ts going forward. Um, that is, do not create something and then look for people to buy it. Um, so common. This is what I get pretty often is someone who didn't do any market research. They just had a brilliant idea. They go, oh, I know my business is going, this is going to be a great um, product or service to offer. And they go and they create this whole thing and do all kinds of effort and spend 6 months building something. And then they come to me and go, hey, I created this amazing didgeridoo what's it? Please show me how to sell it now. How can I sell it? I go, did you do any research? Who's your market? Who's your audience? I have no idea. People who want this. Well, who might want it? That's what I'm coming to you. Who might want it? Because pretty often I've had people come to me with their product or service and they've already created it and they're so proud about their baby and they have it up on a shiny little trophy case and go, this is this amazing thing I created. Now I just need it to make some money. And we go and do the market research, as I was saying before with the blogging for a year. We go and do research and find there is zero demand for that product or service that you created. I was going to give a couple examples of some past people I've worked with, but I'm aware that some of them are listening to this because they're still on my list and join me for calls. So I won't do that, but I'll just say there are lots of examples of products or services out there that failed because they didn't do the research. They spent the money to create the thing, or they spent their whole time designing a website and marketing and doing no research and coming up with this product or service, or even writing the ebook or building some big, drawn out, expensive, 49 module, 19 hours worth of video course, and now no one's buying it. They spent a year creating this thing, and now won't make a single sale because there's no market or no demand for it. Um, so make sure you do the research first. Find who you're going to be selling to first. Get in their heads, figure out what they want, and then create that. Create what they want so that as soon as you go live with your business, you already know there's people who want it. You're not trying to go backwards and guess. The next is trying to take people from where they are not to get them where you want them to go. So I had to throw this in to talk about Facebook in general. This is one of the reasons why I think Facebook marketing fails, and where LinkedIn shines. Why I keep stressing, if you're not on LinkedIn already, you should be. Because the problem with trying to market your business on Facebook is you're taking people who are at the end of their day, they're tired, they've worked all day, and usually they're probably people who are not even in your target audience. And at the end of the day, they're going on there to gripe about their work, post some passive aggressive comment about their spouse, or look at the pictures of their grandkids, or share funny cat videos. And all of a sudden, they see a pop-up of an ad for your amazing new business. So you're trying to take somebody has cat videos on their mind, who's just looking for ways to pass the time and cure their boredom, to all of a sudden take them to a business mindset into hiring you for, um, say, business consulting. So, just thinking about that, do you think someone at the end of their day goes, um, you know what, my business isn't going too good. I really, really think I want to hire a consultant to work with me. I wonder if I scroll Facebook long enough, I'll get a pop-up of an ad that happens to be just what I'm looking for. That's where I go to when I'm looking to hire someone for my business. I'm going to go scroll Facebook until I see an ad that pops up. Um, it does work because that's why people are still doing it. There is lots of traffic, and by sheer volume, you will find people who are interested in your offer. But it's called interruption marketing. You're trying to take someone who has no interest or is not even thinking about you or your business at the time to all of a sudden trying to jolt them out of whatever it is they're doing and make them think about you. So the difference with LinkedIn is that everyone on there is trying to grow their business or earn income one way or another, whether they're trying to put their resume up there to get spotted by someone for a job and get hired, or they have their own business on there, which is the majority of people, and they're looking for new clients. They're prospecting one way or another. I mean, even someone who's putting their resume up there is prospecting for jobs, and this still applies. But people are already there looking for products, services, growing their business, or having their own. So if you go to where they already are, it makes your work that much easier and less effort of a hill to climb, to changing someone who's already on there trying to grow their business to someone who's mindlessly scrolling about cat videos. So do your best to go where people are already in the mood for what you want. It's the same as um, putting a commercial for CSI murder unit during um, during Teletubbies or whatever the current kid program is now. Barney, do people still watch Barney? Um, you don't see commercials for the next murder show during CSI, just like you don't often see cereal commercials when CSI is playing. So think about it the same way. Don't put your business ad when people are watching cat videos. Um, Go to where your market already is and make your life that much easier. Um, the next one is don't try to steer them, meet them where they are. It's kind of the same, but it made me think of the old quote, which somebody may be able to Google it for me and tell me where the quote came from. But it's in one of the copywriting courses. It says, you cannot create desire. And I'm probably going to ruin this. If someone puts it in, they'll get 5 gold stars. You cannot create desire. You can only find what they already desire and steer it towards your product or service, something like that. You cannot manufacture desire. You can't take something that nobody wants and try to manufacture a desire for it. You find what they already desire, and create it for your product, something like that. Anyway, the point of that is, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to make them want something that they don't already want. Find out what they want and guide your position, your product or service as the answer to what it is that they want. Another thing you should stop doing, do and don't, is sending directly to the offer once. And that's it. So what I mean by that is, again, it's kind of like with the only emailing them once or contacting them once, and that's going right for the pitch, sending someone directly to your offer or service one time with no way to follow up, no way to track it, no way to see how well it went, with nothing in between to give you any sort of a feedback, and you just hit them with your offer once and have no other way to follow up or contact with them. So like I said, try to find a way, whether it's a website, link tracking with cookies, or putting up email list, making them opt in, or whatever it is that your mini offer. Find a way to build the database so that you can follow up with them more than once. So building, being able to have that history and research of who you've contacted, how many times you've contacted them, um, and what you sent them to is really, really important. So make sure you're not using one and done marketing where you're just pitching them with the offer. Well, if they said no, well, that's it. I have to go find a new client now. That type of marketing never works, and you'll eventually run out of places to go with that. And another one to please stop doing, bears repeating just because of you're going to find this on LinkedIn, and that is as soon as you make a contact with someone, you go, oh, great, I made a contact. Let me tell them all about my product or service or pitch. And that is when I hate this more than anything. I've just connected with someone, and then the first thing I get is this 5-page copy and paste auto message that says, hi, I'm Bob with such and such company. Thanks for connecting with me. I've been in years for 17 years. Here's the background on my business. Here's the awards we've gotten. Here's how successful my kids are. Here's how successful I am. Here's how large my endowment is. These are all the reasons why you should hire me now and why everyone is stupid who doesn't hire me immediately. I just hate that email. Usually I just ignore it and it goes right into the trash box. You've built no rapport, no connection. I don't even know you. You know, the old phrase of it's introducing yourself to a woman at the bar and immediately asking her to go to bed with you without even saying hi or and telling her your name. Just, hey, how are you? Let's go to bed together. Like, you're asking me to go right for the sale before you know nothing else about me, and it's just a copy and paste message. So don't do that. You don't like it when you get it. Don't do that with others. And I know a lot of you may have come from LinkedIn who are watching this. Just know that we all silently hate you who do that. And it's not your fault. Somebody probably taught you that that's the best way to get clients and get people in is hit them with your offer immediately and then hit them with it again and repeat it, copy and paste it to as many people as you can because somebody will see it and go, that's exactly what I needed and won't be completely offended by it. But it's just stupid. Nobody likes it. Don't do it. Stop it. Cut it out. So I believe that is what we covered. So we showed you how to go through the process of making your prospecting completely priceless by removing the cost, stopping Facebook ads, by making a filtering fee, either free or paid, up front where someone has to go through, they have to take some sort of an action that usually pays you. I like the ones where you charge. They pay you up front for one of the filtering fees I told you could set up. And being able to pay you where your leads now you start making, I said for every $5 you kick out, you get 6 back. And this is before they've hired you for your main product or service, just by implementing a small filtering fee in front of there. So you can keep your existing business, everything you're already doing, just add this filtering fee in between. Not only will it free up your time from the potential time wasters you're making, it will increase your revenue almost instantly because you'll be more effective with the people you do reach and talk to and have a higher closing rate because they'll already be pre-sold on your product or service. So the next thing you can do right now, the most effective thing if you want to get started with this process immediately is simply set aside some time to discuss this with you personally. If you want to set aside 45 minutes or so and you need help with this, you want to do a little background and figure out what it is your business, what it is you have to offer, and what is the best, most effective type of filtering fee you could set up for your business. Because like I said, invariably there's going to be someone who says, my business is different, I don't have anything I can create or sell, or hoops I can make them go through first. The only way I can get new clients is I have to talk to every single person personally and pitch them and sell them on my offer. My business is different. You believe that is the case, I can definitely prove you wrong, but if you just know you need help because you're stuck on ideas and don't know how to come up with that, simply go to coachlikes.com/pp call, priceless prospecting call, and you can schedule a filtering fee brainstorming session with me. So instead, we're going to need to clear out about 45 minutes or so. I'll ask you a ton of questions. And by the end of it, I will give you an outline for this entire system I just outlined for you during this call that you can go out and use, immediately put to work. That is what I do. We can do a brainstorming session. As I said, it'll be limited. You have to check the calendar for availability. I obviously can't work with every single person who sees this, and I won't work with every single one. That's why there may be a questionnaire you have to fill out first, because there's certain types of businesses that which are not morally at the top. I'm trying to say a little bit less scammy businesses without singling anybody out. There's certain businesses I won't work with, and that's all I'll say. But if you're interested in this, you see the process, and you want to learn how to create your own filtering fee, just schedule a call with me. Go to coachlikes.com/pp call, and we will work through 45 minutes or so. We'll brainstorm together. We'll outline a process and create your own filtering fee that you'll have outlined and ready to use by the end of the call. And by the end of it, if you want to discuss working further on an ongoing basis or something like that, I'll give you the option. You can go and use it on your own. You're definitely welcome to go and implement the plan I give you on your own, or you'll have the option we can talk about working together, and I can help you implement the plan that I give you. Totally up to you. But again, if you would like to do that, go to coachlikes.com/pp, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, call, CALL, and that should take you, show you an option with some information on how to schedule a session with me, and we can go from there. So thank you for spending the time and understanding this call. If you have any questions, you can always contact me at james@pricelessprospecting.com and send any emails or any questions or comments you may have about this. Otherwise, your best bet is just schedule the call, and we can actually talk personally, one-on-one, again, which is why I put this at the very end of the call, because that is my filtering fee. So again, thank you for watching this, and looking forward to working with you soon. So just going to hang for a second to see if there's any other questions. Most of you have been responding to the chat in between, so I've answered kind of some of those. Otherwise we'll talk to you on the call when you schedule it. Now it is late, my voice is already completely gone, so I'm gonna wrap this up. All right, thank you for coming out. We will see you all again soon.